Hello Tigers, and welcome to the TMNtv Newscast for Wednesday, May 23rd, 2018. Stay tuned for the latest news at Fort Hays State University and around the nation. I'm your news anchor Jaden Mount, and Haley White will be along later with sports. But first, here's what's making news in Tigerland. Fort Hays State University continues to set records for commencement activities. A total of 4,533 students earned degrees from the university during graduation ceremonies on May 11th and 12th at Gross Memorial Coliseum. That number was an 11.2% increase from the number of graduates during last year's ceremonies. A total of 615 students earned degrees from summer of 2017, 854 from the fall 2017 semester, and 3,064 from the spring 2018 semester. Commencement moved to a two-day event divided into respective colleges a few years ago to accommodate the growing number of graduates from FHSU. Gubernatorial candidate Ken Selzer named a Goodland woman as his running mate for lieutenant governor, according to the Topeka Capital Journal. Jennifer Sanderson, a Fort Hays State graduate, was Selzer's pick that was announced Monday. Selzer, the current state insurance commissioner, is one of several candidates seeking the Republican Party nomination. Sanderson grew up in nearby Plainville and formerly worked at Emprise Bank in Hays and First National Bank in Goodland. Primary elections are set for early August. Fort Hays State will have a new fraternity when the fall semester begins. Phi Delta Theta sent an official letter of intent to expand at FHSU, and the vote was finalized April 18th according to a release from University Relations. Phi Delta Theta will begin recruiting in the upcoming semester. Colin McIver, in Fraternity Council President at FHSU, said new fraternities are welcome because Greek life helps students succeed, and he wants all students to have the same opportunity that Greek life has provided for him. On May 14th, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled the ban on sports gambling was unconstitutional. The state of New Jersey had filed a lawsuit to overturn the ban in 2012 under Governor Chris Christie as an effort to boost the state economy. The effort was beaten back by a coalition of the NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, and the NCAA. The lower courts sided with the coalition, which forced New Jersey to take the case to the Supreme Court. New Jersey won out at the highest court in the land by a major vote of 6-3. New Jersey will likely be the first state to implement sports gambling after the Supreme Court's ruling, where other states may or may not begin considering their own sports gambling laws. A battle is brewing on Capitol Hill between the federal government and pharmaceutical companies. President Trump's comments in his January State of the Union address and a March rally in New Hampshire have struck chords with many higher-ups in Big Pharma, which echoed in a May 11th press conference.
We will have tougher negotiation, more competition, and much lower prices at the pharmacy counter, and it'll start to take effect very soon.
In response, Big Pharma has begun ramping up its lobbying campaign in an effort to sabotage the administration's attempt. According to a New York Times article, the drug industry spent $171.5 million lobbying the federal government last year. Despite these efforts from Big Pharma, Human Services Secretary Alex Azar fired back in an address to the American Enterprise Institute, saying, "Bringing negotiation to Part B drugs is such a potent way to bring down prices that pharma is already protesting the idea. This is really on their list of worst nightmares." The sheriff of Galveston County, Texas, said quick actions by a school resource officer and emergency personnel helped save additional lives during Friday's deadly school shooting in Santa Fe, Texas. Henry Trossett said officers returned fire with 17-year-old Demetrios Pagores at the high school before eventually talking him into surrendering, according to the Tribune News Service. When people were running from the gunfire, the officers that continued to arrive ran to it. Every door they opened, they didn't know what was behind it, Trossett said. 10 people were killed and 13 others wounded. Pagordes is charged with capital murder and aggravated assault against a public servant. In Washington, D.C., President Trump led Monday's swearing-in ceremony for new CIA Director Gina Haspel, according to the Tribune News Service. She became the first female director of the CIA and replaces Mike Pompeo, who recently became Trump's new Secretary of State. Haspel won confirmation from the Senate last week. Saturday marks the 8th annual bike giveaway event at RPM Speedway in Hayes. Kids ages 5 to 12 have a chance to win a bike in a raffle drawing. More than 70 bikes are expected to be given away during the night of racing. General admission seating will begin at 5 p.m. with races beginning at approximately 7 p.m. That's also the time to register to win a bike as well. General admissions tickets for those 13 and older are $10, with tickets for VIP seating at $25. The night will feature IMCA modifieds, stocks, sports mods, hobby stocks, and sport compacts, in addition to the two-man cruiser cars. That's all for news this week, but when we return from this look at the weather forecast and a short break, Haley will be here with your sports update.
The Tiger Media Network is Fort Hays State University's independent student media organization. It's a student employment opportunity where you can work for either the news side or the sports side. So you can be on live sports production, which produces all of the live sports broadcasts that we do, or you could be on the news side and do news stories covering things on campus, so presidential announcements, student government association. We bring that news to the student community and the Hays community as well.
You don't realize how much Fort Hays State has to offer until you're here.
I mean, it is definitely, this is a land of opportunity here.
I just got back from the MIAA tournament in Kansas City a couple weeks ago where we worked with other production crews including Pitt State and Central Missouri. And it's a great time. I've gone there the last couple of years.
For me anyway, I get to do sports, which is what I love. And if live productions is where that's at.
This is the perfect place to do it. We have almost everything that you could possibly imagine.
Tiger Media Network allows you the opportunity to take the skills you've learned and put them forward in a real world, real application setting that allows you to flourish and grow as a professional, and that will only help you and benefit you when you graduate and go into the real world workforce.
FHSU track looks to make a statement in Charlotte. 14 Tigers qualified to compete in the NCAA Division II Outdoor Track and Field Championships on Thursday through Saturday in Charlotte, North Carolina. The number of athletes who are competing in the season final has nearly doubled since last season. Head coach Jason McCullough and a few of the athletes participating this week have more on how they prepare for nationals.
We had 4 All-Americans indoors, and now we're taking 14 athletes to the outdoor national meet, which is about double what we've ever taken before. So we're really excited about that, and we have athletes in just about every discipline.
I run the 800 meters, which will be a middle-distance event. So what I'm doing here in the next few weeks, working hard towards a national meet, which is a Friday and Saturday. So I just listen to my coach every single day and hopefully to peak for the national meet and bring back some silverware to Fort Hays. So.
We both throw javelin for Fort Hays State University. How we prepare for nationals is basically just working out since September, since we only compete during outdoor season, and just focusing on footwork with Coach Maharis in our power and weightlifting.
And to prep for nationals, we're kind of taking it easy right now, so we peak at that last meet.
2 FHSU alums have led their teams to state tournaments. The softball and baseball teams of TMP Marion dominated their regular season and will make an appearance in the Class 3A state tournament this week. The softball team, led by former Tiger softball player Melissa Schopf, will enter the tourney for the third consecutive year, ending the regular season with an 18-5 record. Monarch Baseball, which is coached by former FHSU baseball player Dustin Washburn, goes into the tournament with an impressive 22-1 record.
I think it's easy to overlook teams with their records worse or better than us, but at the end of the day, we're all going into a state tournament and it's at a new level of competition. So we just have to go in with a fresh mind, like everyone's at the same level no matter what your record is. I think our whole team just has a drive to them and we all hate to lose, so it kind of helps us to push each other.
We have a group of girls right now going through this. Is their third time making the state tournament, and they work really hard at this, and they've put in a lot of time. They're ready to go and play and see what they can do at the state tournament.
Our competitive edge, I'd say, is our teamwork together. We're a tight group, and we play that way, and that lets us be successful.
Yeah, we just got a great group of kids and a fantastic coaching staff. It's a group of guys started at the coaching staff that we put together last year and wanted to find a group of people that could help me take this thing back to the top, and it happened quicker than we expected.
TMP Baseball will open with the Wellsville Thursday afternoon at 3:30, followed by Monarch Softball against Oskaloosa at 7. It didn't take former FHSU defensive lineman Nathan Shepard long to become a millionaire. The third-round draft pick of the NFL's New York Jets reportedly signed a 4-year deal worth $3.4 million last week, according to multiple media sources. Shepard was the 2017 MIAA Defensive Player of the Year for the Tigers last fall, while helping the team to its best record in school history. The 6'4", 315-pounder was the first NCAA Division II player taken in this year's NFL Draft. Fort Hays State volleyball coach Jessica Wood Atkins recently bolstered her coaching staff with the hiring of Camry Nels. Nels will serve as assistant coach for the Tigers after spending the last 2 years as head coach at Dodge City Community College. The Hays native is a 2014 graduate of Missouri Southern State University. The University of Kansas has parted ways with athletic director Cheyenne Zinger. The firing was announced Monday by the KU chancellor. He was hired in January 2011 and will be paid $1.4 million for the remaining 2 years of his salary. No specific reason was given for Zinger's firing. The former athletic director has ties to Hays and played 2 seasons for the FHSU football team. Things are heating up in the NBA playoffs as only 4 teams remain. Both conference finals matchups were tied at 2 games apiece after Tuesday night. After being beaten by 41 in Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals, Houston bounced back to stun Golden State on Tuesday night on the Warriors' home court. Game 5 is set for Thursday night. In the Eastern Conference, Cleveland tied the series back up with a win Monday. Game 5 is set for Wednesday. The winners of the 2 conference crowns will play in the NBA Finals. That's all we have for this week's episode. Check back next week for another TMNtv Newscast. To stay up to date on the latest news and information throughout the week, visit tigermedianet.com. Until next week, roar Tigers.